Hello again, and welcome back to the Automating Everything series. That intro was my first sort of experimental thing into showing a time lapse of things, and of course you saw this. This took me several days, including a weekend in which I was gone, so I just had to think about it. But yeah, I think it came out pretty good. There's this, I did a lot of experimenting with the textures on this. You can see on this lower level, it's not as noticeable. There's not much going on here. It is just cobblestone bricks and mossy cobblestone bricks from Cork, which I might change this out a bit just to have more texture, but I'm not entirely sure. It is for the next layer that I started first experimenting with texture with this sort of slowly fading up to white texture with this is diorite here, and that's calcite, white concrete powder, and a bit of white wool. Above that, you can see the roof there. It fades into this andesite brick from Create, and then into normal stone brick to kind of show that it has like a shadow. Finally, for the actual roof, you can kind of see it on the map here. I did various sort of splotches of different colors. Let me pop up here to kind of show that it has like sort of light spots and dark spots, essentially. So you can see there's like on these ridges, there's some lighter bits. This uses, I believe that's walnut and then spruce wood. Walnut wood just being from colorful azaleas. But yeah, I think it came out really nice. I'm very proud of how this came out. As you may have seen, I did have to go through a few iterations of the design and kind of added things as I went. But overall, it came out pretty good. And these are completely functional too. Now, the inside is yeah. It's a bit rough, I'll just say that. I don't really know for sure how I want to design this interior, but I can say for certain that this iron farm has been working and working perfectly fine ever since creating these new sort of sections. And in fact, if I go down here, I believe when I first started making this project, or doing the actual walls on the outside, this had about 2,000 iron, and now it has nearly 12,000. So it's been pretty effective. Over here is just another thing that will turn excess poppies into bone meal. This is my like overflow protection for a lot of things that are organic, because it's an easy way to do it. Back here's another one. I think, oh, and two, in fact. I think it's about as fast as we could make it go. It's a bit difficult. Villager golem spawning mechanics are a bit weird and can be strange to get a good grasp of, but overall it works pretty well, I'd say. You can often see 2 or 3 golems spawn at once, and these fans should help massively in pushing the golems out of the way so that any villager's timer isn't wasted. In fact, I think just over there we saw 2 golems spawn and get pushed off. So yeah, this interior will get more work soon. I'm sure I'll have like little platforms for these little openings I put that are in line with the villagers here. I might hang, quote unquote, the villager holders from the ceiling, or have some sort of barring across in lower half slabs, of course, to prevent iron golem spawning. This also will need to have a complete change in palette, as this does not look very good. However, it is functional. And then up here we have plenty of space. And I kind of want to have like a maintenance area and use this building for more things, since we have this entire first floor that doesn't really have anything. I'm just unsure of what to do with it, but anything that uses iron, we could definitely have automating in here. So yeah. The interior will be a project for another time, I think, but overall it looks pretty good. I'll probably still continue to make changes with time. I might add more windows like that are there, maybe on this wall here, that kind of thing. I'm also unconvinced on this gradient I have. I originally made this gradient and then I did the roof, and I realized inverting this gradient so it's darker up top and then gets lighter might be better, but I don't really feel like completely tearing out the walls currently, and instead I want to do a new project because as fun as this was, and I very much enjoyed it, it would be good to actually get something new automated. So yeah, I believe today we are going to have to move to something else to automate. Now there's heaps and heaps of options. I'm not... Oh yeah, these woodpeckers have been hopping onto my house and pecking at the logs. They don't actually do anything but to hurt it, but yeah. Maybe I could finish up more of the house here. It would be good to automate maybe more stone things, but I might just do that off camera. Since we have iron though, we could automate the production of some create things, like andesite alloy is very useful, and that kind of thing. You may have noticed by those weird noises, I also made the armor set for Malum here. This was my old armor, which was actually getting low on durability, so I went ahead and made a new set here, which you can see, and it came out pretty neat. One more change is I found a mod that actually adds the features from 1.20 back into 1.19.2, so I now have all these things. And I did in fact go explore out up here a bit, generating new chunks, and I found some I believe this was a little buggy in how the spawn for the fact that there are two next to each other, but besides that, this had suspicious sand, much like the normal 1.20 update. And I got a bunch of these shards. Now these shards don't quite... They can only be used to make a single pot, as I have over here. You can't do what you can do normally and have different shards on each side, but that's fine. It's still neat to have. I mainly added it for the cherry wood, which is a unique texture, the bamboo wood, hanging signs, and archaeology, the sniffer, that kind of thing. Because I really like the archaeology update. I think it's been very cool, as well as armor trims. I have these netherite templates that I'll need to get at some point too. Overall, though, it came out. It's pretty neat. So yeah. Alright, after considering it for a bit, I think what I want to automate next is the creation of create train tracks, actually, which we can do over here in our new iron farm. If we just go over here, I made a new little vehicle here, and I'm planning on making a road of some description that goes basically from here along here and up to the front of this, but for now I've just been kind of driving over, as it's a nice little quick way to get around, and I like that. But anyway, the tracks from Create, we have a whole variety of them here. We're just going to focus on... Oh, that's interesting. We're going to focus on the normal ones for now, these train tracks. All you need is iron nuggets or zinc nuggets. In this case, we'll use iron. Those need to be applied to stone slabs, and these twice, and then pressed, and then they'll make train tracks. It's a pretty easy thing to automate, especially with the resources we have here. So I'm thinking in here somewhere, maybe closer to the entrance, perhaps? Or on this side, or something like that. We'll want to make a track machine of sorts, maybe right here, I'll say. Now, of course, ideally we would make a new interior for this place, and I'll probably do that over time, but for now, we're just gonna have to put it here, with it on grass, essentially. Alright, I spent some time making the track production here, and it's, as you can see here, it's making train tracks. What we have is a cobblestone generator here, which I need to figure out if it needs overflow protection. I don't know if it does quite yet. I think it might burn the cobblestone automatically if it does, but this gets smelted into stone. Turns into stone slabs, which then get stamped into these tracks. I might want to increase the rate that these work, mainly the mechanical press, as that seems to be the rate limiting step here. But other than that, it's pretty much set up. Back here is just a bunch of the ways to make this happen. Now, the only small part of this that is not automated yet is getting iron right here. I currently don't have an easy way to get iron there from all the way down here. So for now, just gonna... I'm manually loading the iron into this for now until I have a chance to figure out how this should work. Which should be fine for now. As this will work. Because I shouldn't need that many tracks such that this is overfilling for now. So it'll probably be fine. So yeah. I just need to get an upgrade on this to make it have more capacity, because as it stands, it'll fill up fairly quick. But overall, that's pretty much that. Now what we need to create trains is the sturdy plates, which are somewhere. Sturdy sheets, right, yeah. So we need powdered obsidian, lava, and then to press them twice, and then there we go. Now getting lava, we have ways of doing that with Create by sending a train into the nether to pick up lava and then bringing it back here. It's probably our best way to do it. For now, at least. Just looking at these to make sure they're keeping up, and I think they are. Yeah. So we'll want to set that up probably sooner rather than later so we can start basically gathering a bunch of lava for use on various things. But yeah, that's this system, and I think I'm gonna try to make something else automated today as well. Alright, quick automation job here. I got Cobble Deep Slate automated here through use of a igneous extruder from Thermal Expansion. It makes it pretty simply. It's not another easy way to really make Cobble Deep Slate, so this was the easiest option. If I go down here, it's probably the simplest automation yet. It is literally just the igneous extruder you can see there, a block of packed ice, and some lava. That feeds into a hopper, that feeds into the chute, and it's blown up just like every other one of these. It's pretty simple, not a difficult one by any means, but that does kind of complete our room down here. We do still have room back here, which if I can find another simple one like this one was, I could put something there, but for now that'll work. So that puts us up 2 items this episode. Alright, so for the final part of this video, I kind of determined what I'm gonna end it off with, and it is a chicken farm. You may notice that back here, I have moved the chicken head. Oh, whoops. And I've opted to put it over here, but it's quite a bit different, as you can tell. Now, the idea of this is it's meant to be like a chicken farm. You can hear the chickens up there, and I have the eggs just sitting up in here. And I'll be able to shoot them out and do whatever I need to do with them, and I'll probably have like a sort of, kind of like it's like a fast food place, but it's like there's a counter here, and then food is made back here and probably down on lower floors. Now why I went with this kind of weird looking chicken is based on this thing I learned about in a architectural history class last semester here, where basically in the 60s and 70s, I think during the post-modern movement, there was a study on the Las Vegas Strip, and buildings were boiled down to 2 different types. On the screen here I have an image of what these 2 were. There were ducks, and then there were decorated sheds. A duck building kind of shows its purpose with its appearance, while a decorated shed is a box with a sign on it. So, for example, if I go back to normal here, that is kind of a decorated shed, kind of. You can see the wood, so it's sort of a duck. This over here is more of a decorated shed, but I still tried to make it seem like it was making iron with the white, but it's more of a decorated shed. So this is very emblematic of a duck. Now you might see on the screen I have another image of the actual original duck restaurant. It was like a chicken place in Las Vegas that I kind of based this off of. Now it does look a little silly. I'm unsure how I feel about how the head came out here, but I think it'll work for now. And I like this idea of duck versus decorated sheds. And I'd like to try to use this theory of making buildings look like or demonstrate what they're meant for through their design and not necessarily through a sign you need to read. Anyway, I think we'll end the episode off with this, and next time I'll actually complete the interior of this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that brief little history lesson, and I'll see you next time.